Hey, welcome to day 5 of our 5-day devotional, How to Have a Great Year. And I've been teaching on the laws of super achievement. Now, I want to congratulate you for making it to day 5. Now, if you stumbled on day 5 video, go back to day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. It will bless you tremendously. And I started out by teaching on the fact that the world in which we live in is governed by laws. And whether or not you accept, whether or not you know them, whether you're ignorant of them or not, does not change the fact that it's governed by laws. What changes is the quality of life that you have. Once you discover what these laws are, you align yourself with these laws and these principles, then you're able to have what I termed pleasurable and timely progress. God wants us to have progress. He wants it to be pleasurable. He wants it to be timely. And I believe that in the year 2024, God wants you to be a super achiever. So we've looked at a couple of the laws, and I'm not going to go through them one by one again. But then, just to let you know, we looked at the law of planning, we looked at the law of continuous learning, we looked at the law of focus, and now today we're going to look at the law of sacrifice. Here's what I've found out, is that you don't find great treasures on the surface. You find great treasures deep down buried in the earth. Now, the investment you put into finding rocks and pebbles and stones is not the same investment you put into finding crude oil. Building a refinery is far more expensive than building a quarry. Building a quarry is far more expensive than getting yourself a shovel and a wheelbarrow to get sand. In essence, the investment you're willing to put into a thing many a times, or the investment that a thing demands, many times shows you the value of that thing. And this is important. And so you can get angry and say, why will I spend so much to build a refinery? A refinery costs, first a rig and then the refinery. You're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Now, if you look at how much you're putting in, you're wondering, what is it that we are spending so much for? And the reason is very simple. Crude oil is found deep within the earth. And even after you find it, it costs so much to refine it. Well, then if you're able to spend that much, the returns on it will be greater. So here's the deal, or here's the thing I want you to see here. Very important principle. The sacrifice that you can make for a thing determines the returns that you get on that thing. This is so important, and it's a law in life. If you don't have money enough to build a rig, money enough to build a refinery, then don't expect to have the kind of money that comes from crude oil. If you have money and the money you have is all that can build a quarry or build whatever it is, that's the kind of returns that you're going to get. Now, why did I say that? Sacrifice is the key to super achievement. It's a very important law. Until you're willing to do the extra, don't expect to be extraordinary. And Paul spoke to us about the law of sacrifice in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and the 10th verse. It says that I thank God that I am what I am. It says I am what I am by the grace of God. It says everything that you have seen in me is simply by the grace of God. It says, but I labored more abundantly than they all. Your edge will be your extra. You have to understand is that as long as you're waiting to be supervised, you're waiting to be monitored, somebody having to check in on you, and you're not willing to put in the extra, then don't expect to be extraordinary. The year 2024, you have to think sacrifice. And many times when we talk about sacrifice, people are thinking of it only in the lines of a financial sacrifice, which is important, a financial sacrifice. For example, the money you put in an investment really and truly is what determines the return that you get. No matter how beautiful the investment is, if it's a 10% investment, the person who puts ₦1,000,000, $1,000,000, or 1,000,000 cedis or 1,000,000 rupees is going to get more than the person who puts 10 rupees or 10 naira, even though it's the same returns, but it's returns on the sacrifice. And you have to understand that the result you get is the returns on the sacrifice you're willing to make. So when the person puts 1 million, he's saying that I've sacrificed traveling between January to March. I've sacrificed buying an extra wristwatch. I've sacrificed buying this and buying that. And in turn, he's rewarded for that sacrifice. So you have to think of sacrifice. You have to think of the extra. In the year 2024, you're going to pray extra. You're going to give extra. You're going to read extra. You're going to work extra. You're going to do the extra. If you're going to be a super achiever, then extra has to be your watchword. If you're going to do what people have not done and tread where people have not treaded, then extra has to be your watchword. Now, let's think of this as well in the light of the spiritual things. The realm of the spirit that governs and controls the natural realm is a realm that's controlled by sacrifice. Anyone who is going to make any form of progress must understand the law of sacrifice. For God to gain the whole world, he had to sacrifice his son. And so many times people are looking to gain so much without willing to put so much down. You're going to have to sacrifice extra sleep. You're going to have to sacrifice extra money as seed. You're going to have to sacrifice extra money, not just as seed, but as goodwill, generosity. You're going to have to sacrifice extra of your time to help others. You're going to sacrifice extra time to read. You're going to burn the midnight candle. Hear this: life rewards sacrifice. And so what we call reward, what we call returns on investment, is simply a returns on the sacrifice that you're willing to make. And I'm glad that with this, we have come to the end of our 5-day devotional. Interestingly, I have a bonus video for you tomorrow because there are actually 5 laws and I've shared only with you just 4 laws. And so even though this is the 5th day and it's meant to be the last video, hey, I got a bonus for you, and who does not like bonus? So make sure you subscribe, you share this video, share the link, let somebody be blessed by this, comment in the video, that helps it gain more visibility, hit the notification bell so you know when the bonus video is released. Same time tomorrow, you get your bonus video. Now, here's saying to you, cheers to a great year.